Hey guys, it's Kat and I am back today to refilm some videos. I went to go edit my project pan and pan that palette and recap of March purchases, and I realized I filmed them all in one go, and my microphone battery had died, so there was no audio. So yeah, I'm annoyed at that. So I'm refilming it now, and if you wanted to know where the cats go now, I'm on this office chair and I've got Boogie right up my bum because the cats now sleep in this room, the filming office room, because Grabby Baby finds cats on the couch. So if you were wondering where they are, they're technically in this video. I've got Durdles here and Boogie behind me, but you can't see them. I might be rushing through this video. It is what it is. I filmed it once before and it's frustrating. If this video goes up and then straight after, like the next day, my Pan That Palette goes up, it's simply because I want to move on to other things. I've got some cool videos that I'd prefer to be filming instead of refilming the same thing, like Hindash's palette. Like, what the heck? I've got it. I want to review it. I want to do a demo and maybe like a 1 week, one palette review on it, but that is gonna have to wait. All right, let's actually start with the proper introduction. Welcome to my April check-in for my hashtag Team Project Pan. Technically, this is a quarterly refresh, which means that if I wanted to get rid of products and swap them out for products that I will use more, then this is a chance that I can do that. But realistically, I'm making some pretty good progress and I don't feel the need to do that. I will take out one item that I'm just not using. But besides that, the only products that I'm taking out are ones that I've used up. So hooray, let's start with the products I've used up. First off, I used up my skincare. So these are the Kotia skincare products. This is the exfoliating cleansing milk, and we've got the day cream and the night cream, and they've all been used up. I used them up maybe a week or two ago, and I'm happy they're gone. I didn't love them. So yeah, that was done. Good job, me. Now, because I almost used up a whole full face of skincare at the same time, so 2 moisturizers and a cleanser, I do have some new things that I've just opened, so I don't want to actually pan any more skincare. So what I'm going to do is introduce some hair care. Again, I did talk about these last week, and I've used them since, so they've gone down a little bit since I marked them last time. But I've got 2 shampoos that have just been kicking around my shower for a while. I don't dislike them, but I don't love them. One is Lush Fairly Traded Honey Shampoo. The first ingredient of this is actually honey, and it looks and smells like honey. It's not a bad shampoo, but it doesn't... Look, I don't feel like it's as clarifying as I personally like for my hair, but it's not bad. I just don't love it. The second one is the Davines Oil Shampoo. Now, I loved the conditioner of this. I used that up, but I found that the shampoo is a little bit heavy for my hair and sort of can weigh it down and make it feel a little bit limp and over moisturized. I've got sort of fine hair that does its own thing, and if I put too much product in it or anything too creamy and heavy, it sort of just weighs it down and I look like I've got like just chunks of gross greasy hair. So this doesn't quite do that, but I found paired with the conditioner it was too heavy, so I used the conditioner mainly, and then I only use this occasionally. So I want to use both of these up just because they're in my shower, sort of taking up space, and once these are done, I can sort of open up something else that I might enjoy more. But again, not bad products. They just don't work exactly for me. I did mark them. So this one's nearly done. Down the bottom, I've got a little green mark with nail polish. And it's a little bit below that mark, if you can see, because I did use this last night. And this one is also slightly below because I also have used this since marking it. So 2 shampoos being introduced in my project pan. But that's not it. Today I decided I wanted to last minute add a thermal protectant spray. This is by Joico and it's the Ironclad spray. I sort of feel like it's up to there or something. I'll have to weigh this because I can't see through it. But what I've decided I want to do in the next, or by the end of the year, is work through the majority of my hair products if I can. I do have some leave-in treatments. I do have like some detangling treatments, some shine treatments, some whatever. And I find that I only really use a handful of hair products. Shampoo, conditioner, dry shampoo is probably the most common one I use. Occasionally hairspray and occasionally hair oil. So if I do get sort of quite frizzy ends or they feel a little bit dry, which can happen occasionally, hair oil is quite nice. So I sort of only want to keep those 5 items in my sort of cupboard at any one time. I do at the moment have multiple shampoos and conditioners and different things. So I'd like to sort of pare those back and save space, because realistically, like, I know when I'm getting low on a shampoo, I can just repurchase. I don't need to have like backups of 5 shampoos at any one time. So I figure that's an area that I can sort of minimize and just have more space in my bathroom. So I'm going to try to start working through some hair products. And I figured the thermal protector, look, I don't blow dry my hair or heat style my hair too often, but I do run a hair dryer through it just to sort of dry the roots, because otherwise my hair dries really flat at the top. So I do put a bit of, I do use the hair dryer whenever I wash my hair, which is a couple times a week. So I figured I can theoretically use this. It's been in my cupboard for years and years, so it's probably way old, needs to be used up, and that's the thing I'm going to target as well as those shampoos. Now, I did decide to also add in a cleanser. I do have quite a few cleansers open at the moment, and I only really use them in the shower, but my shower isn't large. I don't have a big shower. I don't have a lot of space to put things, and I've had this product in my shower for a long time. I actually love the product. So this is the Dermalogica Special Cleansing Gel. I actually really like this cleanser. It's nice and gentle. It is like a foaming gel cleanser, so it's good at removing a lot of excess makeup and whatnot. And I also really like this if you do tend to get breakouts or oily skin on your back and shoulders and chest, which I can get in the warmer weather, or if I'm exercising. This is a nice thing to just bring it down on your chest and shoulders to keep it sort of clear, so, and like oil removed. So I do like this, but my issue with this bottle is because it's so big, I sort of store it up and away in my shower, and it's something I just don't reach for too often. So I actually have the smaller version of this as well, which is the original size. This is the big size. I sort of want to use this up just because it's big and bulky and doesn't suit my bathroom. If I had more space, you know, I'm all for buying in bulk to save money, which is what this is. But when you don't have the space, I find that I put the big things off to the side and don't use them. And that's exactly what's happened with this. So it's currently down to here, and I'm going to use it in the shower, on my face and on my chest. All right, a couple of other things that I've used up. I used up my Smashbox Primer. So I didn't love this because it is one of those silicone feeling primers that sort of blur the skin, which in theory is great. But I found this one left my skin quite greasy, I want to say, and I had an issue with whenever I applied foundation over it, not only would it sort of slip and move a little bit, but I would really have to powder the hell out of my foundation because this added that extra layer of sort of like wetness that, yeah, I felt like I had to over powder my foundation just to have it set because this sort of moved it around a bit. So I didn't love this. I didn't enjoy using it. I have used it prior to my project pan and I got along with it quite well, but it might just be that I've been trying to use this up in summer or the warmer months. We're currently now colder weather, which is probably better for this, but I just didn't enjoy it this time around. So it's not something that I'd want to repurchase. I did try using this as a hand cream. A few people in, I think, my last project pan update said use it as a hand cream. It was horrible as a hand cream because this is silicone slippy. I understand using more like moisturizing primers as hand creams. This was just like slippy, gross mess. Don't use silicone primers as hand creams. They don't work. It's gross. But I did manage to use this up and I'm glad that it's gone. Even though I'm not loving primers at the moment, I find that they're actually ruining my base more than they are enhancing it. I do have a bunch of primers, so I do sort of want to work through a few. This one is from Mecca Cosmetica. This one I got in a birthday gift. So if you're a Mecca Loop member. Every year in your birthday month, you can get a present. You're eligible to pick up a present. And 1 year, I think this was one of the presents available. So this is the Mecca Cosmetica Multi-Purpose Plumping Balm. So what they're saying about this is it can be used as a moisturizer, a primer, or a mask. So it is a multi-use sort of moisturizing product. And I'm going to mainly use this as a moisturizer or a hand cream, maybe a little bit under my foundation as a base, but because it's multi-use, it's going to be a little bit easier to use up. So that's why I want to target this, and it is currently up to here. So when I squeeze it down and sort of find where it kind of goes to, that's where it kind of goes to. So that's why I've marked it. But hopefully I'll be able to use this up pretty fast because I can use it in a multitude of ways, and I will probably use this as like a hand treatment before I go to bed as well. One product that I used up since filming my check-in that is dead to me was actually this foundation. So this Fresh and Flawless Full Coverage Foundation from Australis. I did mark it, so it was right down the bottom when I first did this check-in. But in the last week, I've actually used up that little bit. So this is done. I'm actually not going to introduce a new foundation simply because I'm currently doing a project where I want to try all my foundations for like 2 or 3 or 4 days and then make a decision on if I want to keep it or not. So I'm currently in that process. I think I'm up to foundation number 5. So I don't want to introduce a new Project Pan foundation until I've done that declutter. So I want to give myself a good like 2 months of testing out my foundations. I think I have like 20 odd, and then I'll do maybe a 2-parter video. Maybe I'll do, the first 10 and then the second 10, something like that. And then I'll earmark a few foundations to pan and I'll introduce one from there. So this is done, but I'm not rolling in anything else just yet. So similar to the foundation, I did sort of use up a little fragrance since in the last week. I did originally mark it down here, being like, okay, it's gone from here to here, but now that is almost completely empty. I can't get any more out, so that one is completely done. Now what I'm actually going to introduce is the same thing. This is another Hermes little rose sample, don't drop it, sample foundation fragrance. My God. And I have used it a couple of times. So I did mark it, but it's gone down a little bit since I marked it and filmed this video originally. But, knowing the last one, it took me a month to use up. I'll do the same with this. So those are the products that I've used up, but there are things that I've made some good progress on. So let's talk about those. First up, I want to talk about my Jouer Bronzer Duo. So last year I panned one side. This year I want to pan another one. In my last check-in, which I'll have a photo on the screen, I was like, I barely use this because I've been focusing on the bronzer in my Pan That palette series. But then literally, I think a couple of days after filming that video, I used this bronzer and I hit pan on it straight away. So that's what it's up to now. I have used it more obviously throughout the month. So the small amount of pan has gotten bigger and bigger, but it's good now because it's given me a sort of reference point to want to use this and see the pan grow. So I do feel like I'm going to get some good progress on this in the upcoming months. So I'm obviously going to keep this in the project. But I just thought it was quite funny that last month I'm like, I don't know, I haven't seen much progress. I haven't used much of it. It is what it is. And then bam, I used it and I was like, oh my God, I see pan, which is very motivating, which is great. So that is my bronzer. I used up a bunch of my Fourth Ray Beauty Pink Grapefruit Body Milk. So this is like a really thin body lotion. It's not like it's very lotiony. It's very, very thin. It's very watery. It doesn't do much, but at the same time, it's not super greasy. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like putting things on their body because it's too greasy, too creamy, you might like this body milk, but it means that I can use quite a lot of it. So I'm not sure if you can see properly. These lights are a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It was up to here last month and now it's down to here. And realistically, I could have used this a lot more and probably finished up the bottle in the last month, but I didn't. The benefit of this, because it is so thin, you can almost put it all over your body and put it on fairly frequently and it not feel too much. It's just that I don't can't be bothered doing that. So I didn't, but I feel like I can use probably the rest of it in the next month. I'm not making amazing progress on my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. I do like it. It's just a step that at the moment I've been a little bit more minimal with my makeup and I've been forgetting to use. So I do like a full face of makeup, but like a pared down full face. So a bit of foundation, sometimes I skip concealer completely, a bit of powder, a little bit of bronzer, and then I might do, you know, a quick cream eyeshadow, mascara, a little bit of brows, and off I go. So finishing spray is one that I often forget to do, but I have made a little bit of progress. Again, maybe I'll do this. There we go. So you can see that it's only a little bit, but better than nothing. And to show you the progress on my fourth ray, up there, down to here. I'll talk more about the visual things before we get onto the things we need to weigh. So visually, all right, we've got some brow pencils. Now, last month I did mention that I was filming the video the week before I was getting my brows tattooed. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to use brow products after that, and it turns out that I am. So the first appointment, they do sort of tattoo your brows, and to clarify, a few people were like, oh, let me know about your experience with microblading. I actually didn't get microblading done. I got mainly nano tattooing. I think there's a little bit of microblading, but it was mainly tattooing. And the reason I chose that option was it's a little bit more natural, and also on oily skin, it lasts better. So it doesn't fade as fast as microblading can. So that's the reason I went the tattooing option, which I thought sounded more interesting. But I did get it done and I'm happy with the results, but it's a lot lighter than what I wanted. But the way they do it is they start light and then they build on it in your touch-up session, which I have in, I think, mid-May, I think I'm booked in for. So right now, if I wear any makeup, I do need to put something quick through my brows. Generally, what I've been using is just the micro brow. So I'll be seeing a lot of probably good progress on this because all I do is I just sort of touch up and add a little bit more darkness to my brows, because I find that when I'm wearing no makeup, my brows look quite natural and a little bit more filled in than what they were before, which was patchy and crap. But when I put any tiny amount of makeup on, even if it's like a powder foundation or something, I find that my brows sort of like disappear and they end up looking lighter and lighter compared to what's going on in my face. So I do need to run something through them, but I'm hoping after my next touch-up session with minimal makeup, I won't need to put anything through my brows. And if I'm wearing heavy makeup, I might need to run a quick pencil, but that's sort of my hope. So yeah, I'll still be using these for the next, I don't know, month or so. And then I'll probably pull back on them a little bit, fingers crossed, when my brows are finished. So the first one is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Again, this is the one that I've been using the most, and I'll have a comparison on the screen, but it is just a tiny, tiny, tiny little nub. So I'm assuming I made some good progress in this last month, just because I find this probably the perfect way to fill in my brows, because they just need a little bit of color and a little bit of definition. They don't need like the full coloring in like I used to have to do. So I probably won't see as much progress on my Goof Proof brow pencil, maybe a little bit, I'm not too sure. It's definitely a lot longer than the Precisely My Brow Pencil, but I will have a comparison on the screen. But again, I have been using this, but I find this one is sort of all I need. All right, onto some pot products. I've got my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and my past Twilight Fluidline. Hopefully you'll see some progress on the Fluidline. But Painterly, look, let's be real, there's a dip in it, but until you hit pan, you really can't see the dip growing, because you need to sort of see it in 3D to be like, oh yes, there's a bit of a crater going on in there. So, but here's what it looks like anyway. So again, can't really see much, but I have been using it. Hopefully you can see more progress on my eyeliner. So this, I did clean it up a little bit. I just got rid of some dry parts so you can see it a bit better. But now it's sort of looking like a jelly bean shape. So I'm not using this super frequently, but I'm definitely using it frequently enough to start seeing some good progress. So I am confident that I'll use this up by the end of the year, but hopefully I'll be able to use it up a lot quicker than that. While we're close up, I'll show some other progress on some smaller things. So this is the Ultraviolet. This is the Sheen Screen Hydrating Lip Balm. I haven't used this too much, but there we go. So if I squeeze it down, that's where it's at. Again, not heaps of progress, but I am still doing my Project Apocalypse where I am using a different lip product a day, so it's sort of hard to use this. I'm still soldiering on with my Heal Balm, so you can see it was up to here, it's down to there now. So I feel like in the next month I should have it done. This would be a product that I'd probably take out in my quarterly refresh if I wasn't so close to finishing, because it is annoying. I do use this, like at the moment it's getting better because the weather is quite cool, so I can wear this under socks. So hopefully I'll have this done next month. All right, onto things that need to be weighed. Let's talk about my Revlon Concealer. Now I did actually take the stopper out, so it's a lot easier to get the product out, which is good. And you can see, hopefully when I swirl it around the sides, the product is pulling away from the sides. So I don't have that much left to go. I do think I probably have a month or two of use because there's quite a lot down the bottom. It's quite a lot on the wand, but it is a lot easier to get the product out now, which is good. So I'll weigh this. So last month this was 15.57 grams and now it's around 14.1112 grams, something like that. So I did use a good, nearly 1.5 grams of product, which is great. I quite like this concealer. I don't think it's quite as good as the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, so it's not one that I would repurchase, but it's one that's easy to use every day. It's a really good color match for me. So I've been happy to just work on that. Mascara. This is another product that I've been enjoying using every day. This is my Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I think it is getting a little bit drier, which I don't hate. I feel like it's really good. It's not too wet, so it doesn't like weigh down my lashes. It does sort of give a bit of a lift and enough volume and enough length. So I've been happily using that every day. So usually when I do my monthly update, I give myself a couple of days to take the update photos. So taking photos of the weight or the pans or whatever it happens to be. And I also, that's like a couple of days of freedom to use whatever products I want to use. And I actually missed this mascara. I've been using an M Cosmetics one. I don't love it. I've been using my Benefit Roller Lash and I quite like that, but I still like this one probably a bit more. So yeah, it's clearly a good mascara if I've missed it when I have given myself the opportunity not to use it. All right, so that was at 21.66 grams. It's now at 20.94 grams. So again, you know, for a mascara, that's pretty good progress. You get really, really small incremental progress when it comes to mascara, but I'm happy to use it. I use it every day. I really like it. All right, this one is tricky. This is my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. It's the Fineliner Ultra Skinny Gel Crayon in the shade Cinderella. I am wearing it today. I haven't been wearing it too much because I have been doing a really drawn out 1 week, 1 palette video. It's already gone up, thank God. But I found that this color didn't really suit that palette very well. So I didn't use this eyeliner too often. And also during the end of March, I was sick for a couple of weeks, end of March, early April. So I wasn't wearing much makeup. And if I was wearing anything, it was like a little bit of foundation and a bit of powder and a bit of brow product, and that was it. Eyeliner was, I couldn't be fucked. But the issue with this one is I've noticed that it has gained weight. Now the problem with these micro pencils is that since there's such little product in here, if you put it on the scale one way 1 month and then a different way the next month, the slight fluctuation in how it's being weighed can really impact the results of your progress. So this is reading at, hang on. All right, I'm doing better. This is currently reading at 1.15 grams. Last month it was 1.16. So, all right, I'm just gonna take the photo of the weight right now because it's currently looking at what I want it to be. So my issue was that last month it was 5.16 grams, but last week when I filmed this video, it checked in at 5.19 grams, which means that it's gained 0.03 grams, which didn't make sense, and I knew it was like a weighing sort of discrepancy. The last thing I need to weigh is my Nabla powder. So this is the Close-Up Baking Setting Powder in Translucent. I introduced this, I think, just last month, and If you know me, I churn through powder pretty fast. So this was at 69.82 grams. It is now at 61.1 gram-ish. So I've used up nearly 9 grams. Really? That's a lot. Look, I use up a lot of powder. This contains in total 30 grams. So theoretically, this only, look, it looks like it's half empty. Like it's sort of, if you settle it, just under halfway done. So I probably only have a month or two to go on this. I use powders fast. It is what it is, but it is coming up to the cooler weather. My skin does get drier, so I will use less of this. And again, like I was saying, pairing it with that primer, this one here, took a lot of powder to set anything that was over the top of this. So I think I was using powder at a much higher rate than what I normally do. But yeah, that's my progress on that. All right, if you're savvy, you'd realize that I didn't weigh one thing. It is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Gel. This is in the shade medium brown. So it is pretty much the brow pomade, the Dipbrow pomade in a tube with a little brush. Interesting concept. I don't hate it, but I found that the only way I was using this previously was actually getting an angle brush, picking it up off this little wand, and then filling in my brows with the angle brush. And then I thought to myself, I should just use the brow pomade. I have used up a Dipbrow pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's not my favorite formula of brow pomade, so I wouldn't repurchase that, but this isn't for me. And the reason being is that it doesn't suit my brow type. I have quite sparse brows. There's not much hair going on. I need to fill in the skin between the hair to sort of make it look even and like I've got full-ish brows. So this is the type of product that will cling to and color in hairs. And obviously that's what it's for. You apply it with this little wand and it's very pigmented. But I sort of thought that since it is like the Dipbrow pomade sort of formula, maybe a little bit looser, not as like set, not as dry, this could maybe fill in the skin as well as you go. And I'm sure it does, but it sort of looks really patchy. And this shade just looks really dark on me. So this just didn't really suit the way I do my brows. And again, I stopped using it. I haven't used it in the last month, so I'm not even gonna bother weighing it. And this is the item that I'm taking out. And I will get rid of this. I don't need it. I'm not gonna use it. The only way I would actually use this up and pan it is to use it like a brow pomade, and I have brow pomade, so why not use those instead? So this is being taken out. I'm not going to replace that with a brow product because I do have 2 brow products already in my project pan, but I am going to be ambitious and include a nail polish. So this is a mini OPI nail polish. I have actually used this once since marking it, so it is a little bit lower than the mark at the moment. So in the last week, I put this on my nails before I did this color. I love this color and it's a little mini. I would definitely purchase this in the full size. I just thought I've had this for a while. I love the color. It's sort of like what I've discovered to be my perfect nude nail polish. It looks great on the toes. It looks great on the hands. So I just thought I'll use this up, and then next time I'm in the market of buying a nude nail polish, I'll just repurchase this. Now, this just has a number on it, so I'll have to leave the shade name in the description box, which is what I always do anyway. But I got this in a little pack, and I also have a little red one, and I might target that one after this. So yeah, I'm just trying to challenge myself to use up a nail polish and use up a shade that I can use sort of all year round and I really enjoy. And even if I'm not wearing it on my fingers, I'll try to always wear this on my toes just to get some use out of it. But what I love about this is it's a beautiful sort of nudie peach shade. It's quite bright and it's quite colorful. So it's not a traditional nude that's really muted and sort of just your skin tone. This is very, very bright and peachy. And I feel like since I love bright nail polishes, this is sort of the nudes that I like. I feel like this is nude enough, but it's also bright enough for me to want to reach for it. True nudes, I think, just look boring on me personally. They look lovely on other people. For me, I find them boring. This I really, really like. So that's where I was up to when I introduced it last week, and that's the shade. It's really pretty. So it is like a fleshy tone, but it is a nice bright peach as well. All right, so that is my very late April check-in for my hashtag Team Project Pan 2021. I still feel like I'm making some good progress on this, and I like all the products I'm using. Look, I still feel like there's gaps in here because I don't have a foundation on the go at the moment, but I knew if I had a foundation on the go, I just won't do this other sort of decluttering video that I want to do. So I have to do it. I have to take a break from foundations, but at least once I've done that video, I'll have a good idea of which foundations I want to keep, which ones I want to throw out, and which ones I want to pan. So I'll start introducing those very soon. Let me know how you're going, if you're project panning or if you're just targeting products to use up, how you're going with it, which products you like panning, which ones you're struggling with. I always love to know what sort of areas people are really good at and what they're bad at. For me, obviously powders I'm very good at. Dry shampoos I'm excellent at, to the point that I don't have many anymore because I use them all up. But when it comes to sort of color products, I am the worst. But speaking of color products, in the next day or two, I'll probably have my Pan That Palette update. I'm going to be filming it right now. So if you want to see how I'm going with my palette project, pan palette video, that will be up next. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.